You know, getting new, unique characters is always great, but it hits that much harder when the character actually had somewhat of a significant role in the movie, or in this case, the show, the episode, actually had some sort of prominence and meaning that we can look back upon and kind of connect it to the material diecast here. And that comes into play with characters like Niles Speedcone, who really didn't have much of a part at all and is just a background character, versus Griswold, who actually had several speaking lines and played a part in the Legend episode. And it's even more impactful with Jeremy here, who I think could be considered, as crazy as this sounds, in the top 10 main characters from Cars on the Road. I mean, let's think about it for a second. I mean, I guess if you put all the townies in there, then no. But Mater, McQueen, Ivy, and then where do you go after that? You go Chief Dis, you go Matto, you go Mateo a little bit, and eventually you're going to get to Jeremy. And I think that's awesome that we already have him here as a diecast. It's kind of like that Corporal Josh Coolin incident where we didn't get a character that had speaking lines for years after the movie came out. And also it resonates with me because there's that blue gremlin in London from Cars 2 with the headset that also had some speaking lines that we still haven't gotten a diecast for, and yet this is the exact same color. Like, I don't know why, I just kind of have that like visual connection because they are the exact same color. But I don't know, whatever. Welcome back to another Mr. Docket presentation. Obviously, today we're going to be reviewing Jeremy, who I am stoked for. So happy that they did this guy. He looks great. I mean, just look at all the spikes he has on his roof. He's got a flamethrower. He's got a mallet. You can't ask for much more than that. At least, you know, I'm content with it. I'm satisfied, guys. I'm satiated. This guy came out of 2023 Singles Case H. I'll leave the link for that unboxing in the description below, and card suggestion pop up in the top right-hand corner. I will next be reviewing Mateo, and then after that, Cryptid Buster Mater, who came out of Case J as well. So I actually already have him loose, despite not doing these ones, but doing them first on YouTube. Kind of confusing, but just how it works. Let's dive in. Let's get done with it. Let's get into it. All right, so 2023 new, obviously. I like the art for him a lot here. It does kind of convey his personality in the show, which is like the naive. I mean, they did call this guy Nervous Guy on the case list. So I didn't know this was Jeremy. I made a very, very good guess that it was, and was accurate, but it did not say Jeremy. It said Nervous Guy. We know his name is Jeremy from the credits of that episode, even though it actually never, you know, they're never calling him Jeremy. McQueen's not like driving up to him. It's like, hey, I'm McQueen. What's your name? Nice to meet you. No. It doesn't go like that for like any of the characters. You know, Captain Longleggy, they're all named in the credits. So yeah, this artwork looks good. Makes him look a little nervous, a little bit like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but it's just kind of what everyone's doing. I'm just following the mob mentality, which is bad. Don't do that, guys. And this artwork, I believe, was first seen on the Cars on the Road map from D23 or whatever, like some convention or whatever, that I actually did a short video on several months ago, probably around like 6-7 months ago now, which is kind of crazy to think about. It's also on my TikTok and I believe Instagram Reels if you want to check it out. But yeah, this is awesome. This guy's fantastic. Cannot wait to bust him open. And hopefully this case starts at a bunch of stores soon. I know it's at Walmart, but I can't verify for sure if Jeremy is in the Walmart half case of Case H. I know Mateo and Cryptid Buster McQueen is, but Cryptid Buster Mater is not. And I'm not sure. I don't think this guy is either, which kind of really stinks. But I'll have to verify that, or you could just look in the description of my Case H unboxing. Baby Quadritorgasaur, actually no, this is the adult Quadritorgasaur because of the big horn there. Should have been in this case, but seems to have been postponed. Griswold is in this case, even though, you know, it's a carryover from 2022, so nothing too wild there. Niles Speedcone was also supposed to be in this case, but got pushed back to Case J. So at least we still got him, or her. That one's actually a her. Mateo is there, who we'll review soon. Cryptid Buster Mater is in this case in J. Cryptid Buster McQueen debuted in F and returned in this case in abundance. There's 2 of them. So yeah, can't wait to bust this guy open and add him to the Road Rumblers collection. So let's do it. Before we dive deep into this review, I want to shout out GetMeCollecitlbes. Check out his eBay store linked in the description below, and you could also email him. He will have this case in very soon in full, so you don't have to worry about any of that nonsense Walmart half case crap, and just get it in full like it's meant to be. So yeah, check him out in the description below. Now, check Jeremy out from Cars on the Road. The episode there, he just kind of pops up out of nowhere. I'm going to show you a couple angles. There's this kind of cool shot of him once McQueen and Mater go toward the rock. And of course, they all end up at the gas station later, just kind of chilling, having a nice little beverage. That's actually him back there. That was him, his artwork on my little tidbit screen. So pixelated, obviously, that's the point of it, but still, I'm not sure if you guys would have been able to tell that was Jeremy without me pointing it out, but yeah, okay, cool. Such a great character, for real. Very happy, again, to have him as a diecast here, and let's see how Thailand did with him. It's not like we're ever going to have a Chinese version of him to compare him to, but hey, I'm content. And yes, the expression looks great. I think they conveyed exactly what they needed to do from the episode, from his artwork. He's got that kind of nervous, not really sure of himself look. Even though I don't know how nervous he really was in the episode itself. I feel like a better word is just kind of more like naive or ignorant, like just blissful almost. You know what I mean? Because he's just like, hey, I'm here. I don't know why I'm here, but I'm here, you know? His voice just kind of sounds nervous because of the trembling nature to it, you know what I mean? So I don't know, it's kind of interesting to think about if we're going to really analyze psychologically Jeremy here. But yeah, he's pretty light, you know, actually one of the lighter diecasts you will find at a store, and I'm a little disappointed about that, honestly. I thought he'd feel a little bit thicker. Like, honestly, he is very light for his size. I know he's a smaller car, but like, I mean, this guy's like about the same size as him. This is Hit here. And he feels just way more solid than Jeremy. Jeremy just seems a little bit almost like a plastic car. He's got the matte finish. It doesn't even feel metal. Like, this definitely feels like metal. Has the matte finish. This, it's like, is this even metal? I mean, yeah, it is, but it just doesn't feel super good. You know, like Mater, you could tell that's thick. Like, he's solid. I don't know about this guy, though. Anyways, moving right along from that, this plastic piece, this bumper is for sure plastic though. At least I believe so. Yeah, that definitely is plastic. And then the only metal part's the teal or the light blue, the sky blue here. But yeah, they just kind of put all their efforts into his doodads and accessories, quote unquote. He's got rubber spikes. These are rubber. You can tell how easily they move here. A very soft, rubbery plastic. And I was not expecting them to be that way, but it makes sense. If they were plastic, that would be bad. Like, that would be a tripping hazard. That would be like stepping on a Lego, but like 10 times worse. Stepping on a Jeremy sends you TDR. Death by Jeremy. Okay, yeah. So good thing they made them rubber, but that still probably wouldn't feel great if you stepped on it barefoot. But yeah, he's got some little nubbins here on the hood, which are outlined by some rust and wear and tear, which looks really good. Yeah, they did a nice job with making him look weathered by the Badlands here. I mean, just look at the wheel wells here and how ragged and rugged they are. It's not like a smooth semicircle. It's, you know, jagged, and I love that. The tires are super dirty. The wheels are rusted. He does have his flamethrower here, and it does appear like, so there's like the lighter here. This, like, that shouldn't be solid right there. See how there's like a solid panel right there? Really, there should be a gap. And I think they kind of show this, yeah, on the card here. See the gap in between like the lighter and then the fuel, basically? Like, that would light the spark and then the fuel would and then flame, you know what I mean? There's a gap right there. They just make that solid plastic, and I totally understand why, because that's such a frail, thin part to have like just dangling on its own. But it is something to worth note that it's not, you know, 100% accurate. But yeah, it still looks really good. You know, you got the coloration to it here. It's also very worn despite being like a plastic piece that kind of swivels around, which is kind of a nice feature. They're kind of doing all these in the same vein. Like, this one swivels a little bit on Mater. I like the salmon coloration to it as well. This guy looks great. I mean, I love like how much rust is up here because the water doesn't drain as well around his spikes. It kind of all coagulates up there and then just absolutely eats away at the metal. So that's really cool. Cool detail for sure. He's got some darker blue panels here around the wheel wells. He's even got some spikes coming out of the window panels here in the back. Obviously doesn't need a license plate, doesn't have any taillights anymore. The window back here is so dirty. I mean, every part of Jeremy is completely mangled, rusted out, weathered, whatever, everything. He's got it all. And this back piece here is plastic, the bumper. And then last but not least here is the mallet. Actually, just kind of want to see him try and use this. Like, they never really use any of their weapons in this episode. That one guy shoots the rocket off, and then they just kind of all like tackle each other. They don't really use any of their flamethrowers. Maybe it's all for intimidation. They don't actually have any fuel. But yeah, I wanted to see him use the mallet. And yeah, it's kind of weird also. Shouldn't the mallet be on the tire? Yeah, the mallet is supposed to be on the tire. You guys see here in the artwork, it's connected to his wheel, which would make sense. So he actually has control and articulation over its movement. Otherwise, you're just kind of like, you know, it's like you're kind of moving your shoulder almost with a mallet attached to it. So that's a little disappointing, honestly, that they didn't go all the way and put it on the wheel there. Because they should have, right? I feel like they've done this before, though. Like, I think with Eric Langley and, like, yeah, flag waiver type things, they kind of also cheap out on that. But this one looks pretty bad in terms of, I mean, it's not even close, right? So, it's a little disappointing, but it still looks really good. It's a nice rubber piece here. It's solid, though. It's not like it's going to break off. Bam, bam, bam. So, yeah, that's cool. So, take a look at the base here. Made in Thailand. S11A means he was made during the 11th week of 2023 at the A factory. 2022 Mattel copyright. Overall, this guy looks great, but yeah, there are a couple things that I am not like super, you know, amazed with him about that I discussed there. But overall, I mean, I'm being pretty nitpicky. This is like a 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 car right here. This is better, I think, than Niall Speedcone. I think this is better than Gerson Marshall. I think it's better than Doug Krenkel. I think he's better than Maypiller Durev, Claire Gunzer, Kelly Beambright, who I don't even have yet. And definitely not as good as Wes Philanthropist. Probably just around the same level as Adam Rodriguez. What else do we have here? Pitstoposaurus. Yeah, probably better than Pitstoposaurus. And then what else have we gotten so far this year? Griswold, yeah, they're pretty close. I do like Griswold a lot. So yeah, that's kind of my rundown on it. I do want to show you guys a couple other like-minded or similar models. First being Hit here, the most recent kind of similar model coming out of Cars 3. They both kind of share that Hugo-looking model, and I will show you guys exact Hugos from Cars 2 in a second here. But yeah, it's kind of one of those models that ever since Cars 2 popped up a lot. Like, you'll see them in Cars 3 quite a bit. You'll see some in Cars on the Road. There's one in the Cotterpin bar in Cars 3, and it's actually one of the few Cotterpin patrons that Mattel has yet to release. But yeah, they are all different models, though. Every single one of the Hugos Mattel has ever made. If, you know, they're even thinking of this as a Hugo Hit here or Jeremy, because you have Run here, who's like a smaller version of Hit. So Run might be the most similar in terms of size to Jeremy, because Jeremy's kind of on like suspenders here. You know, he's got the elevation. He's not down to the ground on the same level as Run. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. 2 of 2. Remember when these guys were super rare when they came out first in 2017? I remember. But yeah, then of course we have Victor Hugo himself here, the man who started it all. But yeah, he's quite a bit bigger, like you could tell. It's a good way to show you guys here. Let's do this. How about this? So you can see he extends a little bit more. Yeah, that's a good way of showing it. Yeah, Victor Hugo's quite a bit bigger, but again, Jeremy has the height advantage and the weapons advantage, that is, as well. if they were to go on a fight. Wouldn't that be kind of awesome, though? Road Rumblers versus Lemons. Oh my god, guys. I have an idea for the next Battle of the Beasts or something like that. That's actually a great idea. No one take it now. No one steal my idea. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be like, what the hell are you doing? Road Rumblers versus Lemons. Who comes out on top? I got my money. Well, I can't tell you guys. I can't tell you guys. But, I mean, who knows? J. Kirby Gremlin rolls up and whips out his gun, says it's worth a shot. I mean, who knows what could happen? Jeremy might get smoked, especially if he's still got this little baby smile. Here we have Alexander Hugo, pretty similar to Victor, but he does have the hole in the roof for the party hat. Still so weird to me that they did this version and never the regular version of him. Mattel probably thought they were doing something good by releasing, more than they had to. They could have just repainted Victor black, called it a day. But they're like, oh no, they would hate that. They would criticize us till the ends of the earth. Let's put the party hat on them and they'll love us for it. They'll think that we're giving them something extra. And then everyone's like, yeah, no, I want regular Alexander Hugo. You know what I mean? Everyone's still like super mad about it. I mean, not like super mad, but like long term, looking back on it, everyone's like, yeah, I kind of would have rather just the regular black Hugo. And, I've seen customs of just a regular black Hugo, but it's tough to patch up this hole up here, You got to really epoxy it or whatever. I don't even know. I mean, that's out of my pay grade. But I do find it funny. When this guy first came out in 2012, everyone was like, oh, no way. That's kind of weird, but it's cool. You know what I mean? Like, they've kind of done that before, releasing a variant of the car before the regular one. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of Tombe with Oil Can a little bit. And there are some other ones, I think, as well. But everyone was like, oh, they'll totally release the regular Alexander Hugo in a couple years because Cars 2 just came out last year. We'll totally get the black Gremlins and the black Pacers and everything. And yeah, here we are, like over 10 years later, and we only got the black Hugo. And I don't think, we got Alexander Hugo once more, and it was still with the party hat. So that's that. And that is all for this review of Jeremy, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's set up a little reenactment here. This is actually so cool. This would have been a great 3-pack, like an Amazon exclusive 3-pack. They should totally do that, actually. I think people would love that. That's a great little setup right there. You guys let me know in the comments, who is your favorite out of these three? Kind of a tough one to call because, McQueen and Mater, they're like iconic. They're variations, whereas Jeremy's a new character. So maybe just let me know, who's your favorite character from the Road Rumblers episode? I obviously have this custom of Captain Longleggy there, who I did a review on last year. I'll leave the link for that in the description. And we will be getting a 155 scale version of Chief this year soon to add on to the mini racer. We're also getting a 155 scale version of Squat, who's another one of the Road Rumblers. And then hopefully next year, and as the years go on, we get a bunch more, because there are a ton, and they're mostly all reskins of models we already have, whether it be Revo Cost, Fishtail, Superfly, they're all there. They're all there, guys. Thanks as always for watching and for your support, and I will see you soon for a bunch of cakes reveals this weekend, and then Mateo next week. Bye now.